Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Now, after spending a little time in Berlin with my European tech brothers and sisters, I've been enjoying my last days of freedom of movement before the dreaded B word kicks in, which please do not get me started on. But on my travels, I've noticed that there does seem to be a looming economic uncertainty amongst all European citizens from the conversations that I've been having recently. And it seems more and more people are looking for alternative investment opportunities away from those traditional investments. And this is where I encountered BiboxEurope, which offers access to new economic possibilities for retail and institutional investors looking to build their own digital asset portfolio. And I'm going to be completely transparent with you here. I didn't know too much about it, but what I can tell you is it awoke my curiosity and I was incredibly intrigued to find out more about it. So I invited Aries Wang onto the show today, and he's the co-founder of Bibox, partner at Blockwater Capital, and also author of Crypto Economy. So if you fancy an all-expenses-paid trip to Zurich, let's zoom over to Switzerland and find out more about Bibox. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Aries. Can you tell the listeners a little more about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, hi Neil, hi audience. This is Aries Wang. I'm the founder of one of the largest crypto exchange, Bibox, and also I'm the founder of crypto venture capital, Blockwater Capital, which based at South Korea. And I also wrote a book. Its name's Crypto Economy. So I'm very passionate about the blockchain technology and the crypto area.
Excellent. Well, Bibox was registered and established back in November 2017, and within 1 year, Bibox expanded its footprint in the US, Switzerland, Canada, China, South Korea, Japan, Singapore, and Vietnam. And that's just what I know about. But can you tell me a little bit more about the story behind Bibox and how you achieved such fantastic success so quickly?
Actually, my co-founders, Jeffrey Lay, who was the former co-founder from OKCoin Group. People know crypto at a very early stage, definitely know that OKCoin was one of the largest Bitcoin exchange globally back to 2014, 2015. And since the policy or the regulatory situation changed in mainland China, everything related to exchange, especially crypto exchange, should be shut down after September 4th, 2017. So me and Jeffrey Lay and the former CTO from OKCoin all together started to initiate the Bibox, another great exchange. And we spent almost like a year to grow our user base to 2.4 million users globally. And right now we have a $400 million US trading volume on daily basis on CoinMarketCap. I think that's pretty much from a very passionate group of crypto enthusiasts and innovators and entrepreneurs. We work all together trying to achieve a grand vision for Bibox.
And Bibox has officially launched in Europe recently with fiat-to-cryptocurrency trading of the euro with Bitcoin and Ethereum now officially open. But can you tell me more about the looming economic uncertainty? Especially we've got it over here in the UK with the other B word, Brexit, which we cannot go there, please. We've had enough of that. Yeah. But it feels like all European citizens are increasingly looking for alternative investment opportunities now. What kind of role do you think Bibox will play in that?
Yeah. I think Bibox is a fully regulated exchange at Switzerland, and we opened euro trading pairs recently. So we treat ourselves as one of the fully regulated financial blockchain service company here at Europe, and we want to serve at least as a bridge for traditional financial players to the crypto world. And we define ourselves as such a bridge because we see that the traditional financial areas suffers a lot of uncertainties, as what you mentioned, the Brexit and the uncertainty future for UK and the European Union. And I think usually people will choose gold as their alternative investment, but we see the data that shows either from Bloomberg or other analytics service companies, the best alternative investment this year should be Bitcoin, because it has the highest yields annualized rates, and people are starting to notice because not only the high return, but also a lot of big players come to the crypto world. We have JP Morgan, who announced to issue their own coin, JP Morgan coin, last year. And we have Facebook to announce the Libra project. And this all give a lot of confidence for people to see it's probably the future for people to start to know the blockchain and the cryptocurrencies. And most of people involved in crypto, they all trust that cryptocurrency probably going to be another payment method in the future that going to be accepted by majority of people. So based on all these trends, I think that's accumulated some general conclusion or summary that people are choose alternative investments, not only considering the gold or bonds, but also something like cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin especially. Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned the whole thing with JP Morgan and Facebook with Libra there, because on one side of the fence, we've got everyone screaming out wanting greater adoption. And on the other side, when Facebook and JP Morgan bring things out, everyone are like, well, this is everything that blockchain and crypto is against. So it's finding that right kind of balance. And I'm curious, does it feel like in the industry that you can't win sometimes?
I mean, it's a little bit unusual because the cryptocurrency trading world, compared with the traditional stocks trading, is quite different. For example, here at cryptocurrency, we start like a 724, but back to traditional stocks trading is only open for business days and limited time, and there are holidays, but they are non-existed in crypto world. I mean, there are a lot of differences between those two. So people started to notice that the new trend is coming, and I think they're going to bring a lot of big changes in the following years in many area. Yeah.
I completely agree with you there. And so as we look towards the future, how do you see Bibox Orbit contributing towards that stronger blockchain ecosystem that we're heading for?
Yeah, I think Bibox Orbit is one of the fundraising tool for early stage blockchain startups, and we define as sort of like the crypto world Indiegogo. We treat ourselves as a very selective, particularly platform for startup and also for clients who want to fundraise those startups. We, as I mentioned before, we have more than 2 million users globally. So all of our users are really active in investing cryptos, not only in Bitcoin, but also other utility tokens. So that gives good sign for those startups who need early fundraising from a large user base. So we not only provide a platform that gives them the initial users, but also we provide a platform that guarantees they will fundraise for a certain amount of money they need for their further development in technology or researches. So the orbits is pretty much to serve both sides, including the startups and the investors.
And we did talk about adoption a few moments ago. So I've got to ask, I mean, how do you think we can tackle the adoption problem in the industry? And are you finding it's getting a little bit easier now as more and more people are beginning to a thirst for wanting to learn more about blockchain?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are curious about Bitcoin because they're mixed emotions. Some people made a lot of money from Bitcoin because they're early investors, so they really trust Bitcoin. And some of them lost money on their investments in cryptocurrencies. They feel like it's a scam or it's whatever. So there should be a balance. The balance should be we see from the technology side, which is a blockchain technology, how the blockchain technology will change our world or reshape the world. I think there are already a lot of examples that's being proved by either IBM or PwC. At very early stage, PwC announced that they're using the blockchain technology to secure their financial statements. And they're also, IBM helped a lot of corporate clients to develop the blockchain solutions to help their current businesses. I mean, all people trust blockchain because blockchain gives people a fully decentralized world, and the people feel like they're one of the participants. That's the most community-driven thing ever happened back to the human history. Because I think even for a lot of big firms, they give democracy, they give freedom for their different departments, but it's still like a internally innovation. But for blockchain, after we come up with fully decentralized concepts, people started to participate in the project's community. They come up with their own ideas. They come up with a lot of good suggestions. Those people driven the projects moving forward. And we see that's the real pain points for the tech parts, because people have their own solutions, suggestions for the projects, and projects developers, they took that, and that's a perfect match for both sides. So we see the decentralized future for a lot of different parts of the blockchain projects involved areas that we see so far. So I think that's definitely the future.
And it often seems now that almost every new project will have an army or a Reddit community demanding to know when their project is going to be listed on a new exchange. And we will have founders and community members listening to this podcast. So a question I've got to ask for those people listening is, what is your selection criteria for having projects listed on Bibox Orbit? And how many projects do you intend to support?
I think we're quite selective based on the application that we received. We started the first orbits back to early this year, and we received more than 100 applications globally. But we only selected a couple of them. The criteria that we monitor or we concerned about the projects will be, firstly, the what is the innovation that projects come up with. What is the business structures? Is that sustainable for these projects? At least is long-lived projects or not? We will do the predefined, and we'll check seriously about the background of the founders. And I think most of the Orbit projects that we listed, their founders are well known or established in their certain areas. So that's a very positive signal for investors if they interested in that projects. They want to know the background and the back resources. We checked a lot of backers of the projects. Because, for example, the Zen Over token that we listed for last orbit, they are a peer-to-peer platform based at South Korea. They helped second-hand luxury goods for trading, and they generated more than 100,000 users at South Korean market, and they proved their business model, and they showed the professionalism from their founders, and then we come up with these projects to our users. So we treat these projects as what venture capitalists treat their potential invested projects. So that's the same targets we see.
And of course, it wouldn't be a crypto podcast without talking about collaborations and industry partnerships. So as someone working in this industry where your community is constantly asking for updates, and your partners will equally your partners on the other side of the fence are going to lock you down to NDAs. Do you find that whole process frustrating?
Yeah, definitely. Because as we said, we're community-driven crypto exchange. A lot of people would ask, what is the progress? They are not only ask for monthly progress for the exchange. Sometimes they will ask quite often weekly base, especially when we are facing a lot of like traditional institution clients. After we signed an NDA with them, we cannot expose the name or the collaboration details to the community, but people wouldn't. Because different people, they have different concerns regarding the collaboration. So in that case, they will come up with tons of different questions from different dimensions. We usually can only answer them with a general answer. That gives a lot of uncertainty for those community members, especially those active community members. So they would dig out further. That's going to bring a lot of misunderstandings between the platform and community members. But after we released the certain collaboration terms with the official announcement, that's going to give the confidence to all the community members. So it's going to be a conflict, but I think it happens quite often in the crypto world because it's so fast-paced here.
And looking towards the future then, what is your grand vision for Bibox? Is there anything that you can share with us? I understand you can probably limit it as to what you can share, but is there anything high level or any teasers you can leave us with?
Yeah, right now we define ourselves as a regulated blockchain financial service company. So definitely what we do right now, especially in Europe, we want to be a financial service company or a fintech company in the future. And what we offer will be as a bridge between the crypto or blockchain world to the traditional financial area. And we want to help family office, hedge funds, and asset management companies to learn more about the crypto world. And we have the OTC desk that help those family offices to purchase cryptos. And we have the fiat channel that connected with the top tier commercial bank in Europe to secure the fiat channel. That most exchanges cannot do. So in the future, we want to be fully regulated and going public as a first public listed crypto exchange in the world.
And for anyone listening that'd like to find out more information about Bibox, can you just remind them the best way of finding you online, and also I'm sure you've got a passionate community out there, the best way they can get involved with that and ask any questions they may be left with too?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have both Twitter channel, the Bibox 365. We have the Telegram channel. We have two different groups, the English group and the Chinese group for on the Telegram, which is Bibox 365 as well. And we also have the emails that shows on Bibox.com and the Bibox365.com. We received a lot of questions from different dimensions from our potential clients or clients. So the best way to connect with us definitely is join our Telegram group and send a message directly to our service. Customer service.
Excellent. Well, I'll add all the links to the blog posts that will accompany this podcast. And like you said early on in the podcast, there really does seem to be a looming economic uncertainty, especially here in the UK, and I would say Europe as well to a certain degree. And people are, I think, having a growing distrust for banks and starting to look at alternative investments and starting to learn more about this world. And I think we're going to see a lot more adoption. So more than anything, though, a big thank you for coming on and sharing the story behind Bibox and the role that you're going to be playing in that. So thanks again for coming on today.
Thank you, Neil.
There are so many cool blockchain and crypto projects coming out of Zurich at the moment. And today we heard about just one of them, which is a top 10 currency exchange platform, and how Bibox has officially launched in Europe, with that fiat-to-crypto currency trading of the euro with Bitcoin and Ethereum now officially open for business. So a big thank you, though, to Aries for talking about the concise regulatory and legal framework for cryptocurrencies and how it makes it a hotbed of development right now. And of course, how the future of cryptocurrency trading and artificial intelligence looks set to become inextricably linked. And of course, for sharing his experience as a partner for Blockwater Capital. As always, we covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. And I'm conscious that what Aries has come on and put his views forward and shared his insights. But now I'd love to hear yours too. So please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, or visit my website, techblogwriter.co.uk, if you would like to come on the show and share your expertise too. But that's it for another episode, so I will see you tomorrow bright and early. We'll have another guest lined up, ready and waiting. So thanks for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.